Welcome back to the channel. I'm RJ Ronquillo. If you're new here, thanks for joining me. For those of us that play with a pick or a plectrum, it's likely that it's the most overlooked piece of gear in our vast arsenal of gear and equipment. We love our guitars, we love playing around with pedals, but picks are usually kind of an afterthought or something that we put on the back burner. And rightfully so. They're, for the most part, relatively cheap, somewhat disposable. They're easily lost and replaced, or sometimes magically appear in our laundry. And I think many of us easily find a style of pick that we like and stick with it for many years or possibly for life. And in this video, I wanted to talk about the importance of picks and experimenting with different ones. Because in my opinion, it's not about finding the one perfect pick, but it's more about discovering different picks and how, they suit different styles of playing, possibly improve your playing or a certain technique or style, as well as help you discover new sounds, tones, and really a new feel for the guitar. Before we get started, if you're into these kinds of videos, make sure you click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to stay notified of whenever I go live or whenever I post a new video. So for most of my guitar playing life, I use the same type of pick. Basically, I use some form of the original DeAndrea shape, which was from the 1920s. And I probably tried different materials in that shape, like celluloid or Delrin or even acetal. But the gauges were almost always a heavy pick or an extra heavy pick. I'm talking about like a 1mm to a 1.2mm. And it wasn't until recently, like maybe the past 3 or 4 years, when I really started experimenting with different picks. And it wasn't because I was trying to find the one perfect pick, but that I was discovering that different picks either made me play differently or improved certain techniques that I was practicing. For instance, for the longest time, I was favoring pointier picks. I kind of felt like my picking was more consistent and the sharp pick attack helped me play fast passages a little more accurately. But when I wanted to switch it up and play, for lack of a better term, jazzier, the sharper picks sounded pointy. And they almost didn't feel right. I associated the pointier picks with more aggressive styles like hard rock and metal. But I found that using a rounder tipped pick, or even the shoulder of a standard pick, helped me get that rounder, darker, jazzier tone that I was after. As well as kind of impart a feel, because it was harder to, do shreddy stuff with, it made me slow down my playing and come up with slower lines and basically play to the capabilities of the pick. But still to this day, even my preference for pick gauge or thickness changes almost daily. Instead of just sticking with the heavier picks that I was so used to, I experimented with lighter picks, even as thin as 50mm, which I blame Paul Gilbert for. So for the longest time, I had the notion that you needed a heavier pick to play fast and shred, but I found out that I could still play somewhat fast and accurate with a thin pick. The main difference that I discovered was thinner picks take more effort because of the flex that it has. I feel like you have to push through the string a little bit more. Now with heavier picks, because it has more mass, it can go through a string with less effort. But the other big difference that I found out was the heavier the pick, the less feeling you have of the string. And what I mean by that is your sense of where and when the pick travels over the string. And that can be really important to certain players. I know for me, that's something that I like, is how much I can feel or sense the pick attack against the string. And when my fingers are closer together, like on a thinner pick, it's like I can feel the vibration of the string better. So yeah, I like to use different picks for certain things. I think of picks as tools in a toolbox, a different tool for a different job. Which brings me to a new kind of pick that might be the Swiss Army knife in your toolbox. I recently got a bunch of picks to try from a company called Bog Street. Now their slogan on their website is, "We're totally overthinking the guitar pick." And that statement couldn't be more true. These are some of the most unique pick designs that I've tried, and I want to show you guys how they fit in my pick obsessed world and how they might fit into your world. So the big one that they have here, this is the Leap model, and if you can tell, there's 3 different sides to this, and each side is a different gauge and really kind of a different shape. They come in 2 models. This is the lead model, but they also have a lighter version, which is what they call the rhythm model. But my favorite models that they have are from the Axe series, what they call them. And there's a couple different models within that Axe series. I believe there's an Axe Cut, Axe Blade, and Battle Axe. So these are all made out of acetal, and they come in different gauges, different colors, kind of similar shapes, but I'll get into that. And they also either come in textured or smooth. Some people like the textured picks because they like feeling that scrapiness against the string. I like them smooth. And these 2, the purple one and the red one, seem to be my favorite. Now they may look very similar, but one is kind of different than the other. I believe this is the Battle Axe. This one is medium, which I think is 2mm. Looking at the design of it, it's got fairly pointy tips, but it also has a really nice beveled edge. And I think the bevel really helps with getting a nice smooth pick attack, a nice travel over the string. It doesn't get caught up. One of the big things that you'll notice is this big hole in the center. Now, most people will think it's for grip, which yeah, it can be for grip. There's also some texturing design, grip design around the hole, but like I was saying earlier, I like the feeling of thinner picks because when my fingers are close together, then I really can feel that the feedback from the pick attack. And having this hole actually does that because when your fingers are covering the hole, they're almost touching each other. Like you can feel, the skin. So it does have that feel of a thin pick, and you can feel the string, but you have the tip of a 2mm pick. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. My other favorite pick that they have is the Axe Blade. May look very similar, but it's actually got 2 tips. This particular one, the red one, is a 2mm chisel tips, which is the same gauge that I like in the purple one. But they have one side that's rounder, 0.6mm, flat tip. So it's kind of cool to have 2 different picks essentially in one pick. Most people will think of using the thinner, rounder style pick for rhythmic playing. And then when they want to do shreddy, more accurate technique stuff, they'll switch over to the heavier, sharper tip. But they make gauges as high as 3mm, which is pretty thick. The blue one here is the 3mm version. And they go as light as 0.5mm. They actually sent me a bunch of other materials to try. So I said previously that these are acetal. They do make them in ultem, which is a different type of material. To me, it's kind of lighter. It kind of has a different type of top end, kind of brighter. But I gotta say, if you're looking for a different kind of pick or willing to try something new, definitely check these picks out. For me, it was kind of easy to get used to because, I do like a bigger shaped pick. I know some people like the smaller, like Jazz 3 picks, but for me, I like having something to hold on to. And having a thicker shaped pick with that bevel is super, super comfortable. For some people, at least for me, the hole was a little weird at first because, it's new to me. But once I started playing around with it and I was able to get that string feel that I really like, it's very easy to get used to and very easy to use. So check these out. These are Bog Street Picks. I'll have all the links and info down in the description below. And I want to thank Bog Street Picks and Guitar World for letting me check these out. Thanks again, guys, for watching this video. If you liked it, please click that thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, gear demos, and guitar lessons, make sure you click the subscribe button. Thanks again for watching. I'm RJ Ronquillo, and I'll see you in the next video.